Yo, what's going on guys, HyperX here, and today I am so excited to be talking about Black Myth Wukong again because they dropped a brand new trailer. Now if you guys have never seen nor heard of this game before, firstly, you need to see this, right? I am so incredibly excited for this one. They dropped a trailer for this last year. It is literally a year ago today that we last saw this one, and when they first dropped it, it came out of nowhere. It came from a studio called Game Science, a studio that we basically hadn't heard of before, and they put together this incredible looking trailer that basically tells the story of the journey to the west, and of course you play as Wukong, which already for me is a massive win. If you guys have seen other videos I've spoken about on the channel before, you'll know I'm a Wukong fanboy, right? If Wukong is in the game, I'm already going to check it out. But that being said, this one actually looks fantastic. It's kind of got sort of Souls-like elements to it. The combat looks incredible, and more recently, or today should I say, they dropped another new trailer. Now they're working on Unreal Engine 5. They've got the backing of Epic and Nvidia, and it is shaping up incredibly nicely. Now we don't still have any details on release or anything like that, but today I did still want to talk about the gameplay, which is running in the background, talk about some of the stuff we've seen. I'll also sort of let the gameplay breathe so you guys can sort of experience it and sort of hear it as well. But I do want to touch on a few things to kind of just talk about it because this is an incredibly exciting project. I don't know when it's coming out, but regardless, when it does come out, this looks like it's going to be so much fun to play. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. If you have any questions, by all means let me know down below. And if it's your first time seeing it, or you're just seeing it again after seeing the trailer last year, let me know what you think. But first things first, again, as a quick recap, they first dropped the trailer last year, and it was of course being developed for Unreal Engine 4. They've now made the switch to Unreal Engine 5. They actually dropped a couple of tweets yesterday talking about some of the sort of development difficulties they had. They actually went to sort of show some of the like frame rate drops they had. There's a scene from the previous trailer where Wukong goes toe to toe with what looks like hundreds of enemies in sort of a Muso style, and they showed their development video of that, and it dropped down to literally 3 frames a second. So obviously they were having some troubles. So they made a switch over, and now obviously they've got the support of Epic, they got the support of Nvidia. They said the game when it launches is going to have full 4K support at 60 frames a second, ray tracing, and Nvidia DLSS. So that's a lot of stuff to look forward to. It is a very nice looking game. I mean, when they're sort of moving through the environment, the particle effects, walking through the snow, everything you'll see in this trailer, it just looks fantastic. But it is still in development, so there's of course lots of stuff to work on. Now to give you just a quick backstory from the official website, it of course says the story of Wukong tells more than just Wukong himself. The monkey is of course the leading role for sure, but he is still a small part of the whole vivid world. There are plenty of intriguing characters and thought-provoking dialogues in Journey to the West, not to mention the darkness veiled. So it then goes on to say, we applaud when Wukong defeats those so-called villains, but who are they indeed? Why do they go against our heroes? Cunning fairies, brutal monsters, amorous lords, or coward gods? We're always curious about their fear and love, goodwill and hatred, obsessiveness and daily life. In virtue of high quality graphics, sufficient details, immersive combat and great storyline, we're able to build that Eastern fantasy world alive in our heart instead of only picturing some major characters. This is a wide, wild, romantic world suffused with fantasy and mystery, yet still seems truly existing. Black Myth Wukong is our first attempt to create this ultimate fictional universe. So if you guys are familiar with the story of Journey to the West, then you'll of course know some of what to expect. But honestly, looking through this trailer, as you'll see as we sort of step through some of the gameplay, the creatures, some of the things you fight, they just look incredible. But if we turn our attention to what's actually going on screen now, obviously we've got what is either a boss battle or like a mini boss battle, so to speak. You can see the main boss life bar in the middle down below. Meanwhile, Wukong's life bar is bottom left. Now, one of the things that you'll notice about this one, this definitely seems more so focused on just showing, like, you know, how combat flows, you getting hit, attacking the enemy. So obviously this isn't necessarily one of those like super perfect showcases where they absolutely just dunk on the boss. They do get, you know, hit quite a bit, but you do get to sort of see some of the cool combat. You can see that during certain moves, you have this like perfect dodge mechanic, and it's quite cool because it almost leaves like a shadow clone version or like image of where you were. This move is quite interesting as well. Seems like if you need to pop a potion, you can almost put like this firing around you, which pushes the enemy away or kind of gives you like a barrier, which is quite interesting because in these kind of games, normally if you need to heal, you typically got to kind of run and just like pop it in a corner and hope that you don't get clapped at the same time. But just sort of seeing the particles, seeing just the snow, the way the snow sort of deforms and they're just like moving around in it is just incredible. And of course, the staff seems to, off the back of, you know, certain moves, you can see some icons over on the left-hand side. I'm guessing that's probably mapped to like D-pad or something like that, where you can power up your staff in different ways. We'll actually sort of see how it manifests later for some of the other boss fights. But I'll leave you guys with like a little bit of gameplay first, and then we'll pick up when we go to the next section.
吃斋念佛、诵经打坐，又有几个真的心如止水、清净无为？你看看，这大风大雪的还要这么拼命，一定也是为了那个玩意儿。你来之前，我算过一卦，你猜猜写的是啥？动不如静，有财无命。既要送死，也不拦你。叫西天土地在此恭迎天命人。变！
Now this next bit is incredible. Obviously we've just been flying as like a bat or a bird kind of thing. We saw again in the first trailer the ability to take on the form of different creatures and obviously fly around, but this just looked incredible. When you fly around the corner and you see this ginormous dragon, you know what this kind of gave me feels of? You know, if you play like Breath of the Wild, the first time you see some of the dragons just flying through the sky, that epic feeling, honestly, like, it just looks so cool. So you're gonna have large scale bosses to fight. They're not just going to be sort of humanoid size. You'll definitely see that towards the end of the trailer as well. Some of the other things that they will sort of montage together. Some bosses are so incredibly huge, and this just looks fantastic. I mean, I'm guessing this is still sort of work in progress because texture wise the dragon seems to be all pretty much one color, but again, you know, this is all development footage, so there's a lot of stuff to be taken into account. But regardless, it still looks fantastic. Like the ice that you're sort of fighting on, like the way that it sort of moves when you throw the particles across it. And again, we get to sort of see some different like movement options for the bow staff in this one. You'll actually see later on, you can kind of use it defensively as well when there are attacks coming across the ground. Much like you've seen if you've sort of seen Wukong stuff before, you know you can extend the bow staff to ridiculous lengths, and you can actually use that to basically avoid some attacks. So again, I'll let the sort of gameplay for this one play out, and then we'll sort of catch up at the end of the video. So that's pretty much it. Obviously, after that boss fight, they then start to cut together some of the other stuff. The stuff that I mentioned earlier, you sort of get to see the scale of this. You get to see some of the different enemies and the bosses you'll fight. Like the giant bear you'll see in a minute. Whew, that just looks crazy. Honestly, I love what they're doing with all the bosses. They just all look like they have so much character, so much personality. Every single thing just looks like a spectacle in this game. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to playing this. Again, right now we don't have a release date. They have said on their Q&A they are going to try and target both PC and console, and maybe even streaming platforms as well. So it does look like they're trying to go for like broad appeal for this one and try and like encapsulate everyone. Quite whether that'll work out, quite whether they sort of do that at the same time, maybe they launch on PC first, console later. Honestly, I don't know right now. It is one of those games that we unfortunately just have to wait, and they have said in their Q&A as well that they're just going to wait until they feel comfortable with the game. So, you know, when studios say that, it could mean that we see it in a year, it could mean we see it in 3 years. Honestly, I don't know. I hope it's sooner, because I really want to play this game. But regardless, that is an update on Black Myth Wukong. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys are excited for it, do keep it locked, because once we do find out more about the game, I will be sure to keep you guys up to date. But for the time being, catch you in the next one.
既见未来，为何不败？
If you want to catch more from us at HyperX Gaming, don't forget you can catch the guys TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch weekdays, playing a variety of games. If you guys want to jump in, tune in, watch, and even join in, then make sure you check them out. The links to those are in the description box down below. And of course, you can join the Discord to get involved in all of the discussions.